Hey guys, Tim here from Boogie Snail Mastering. Hope you're having a very great day. So, suppose you have a mix that you need mastered, and this mix has occasional uncontrolled spikes. What to do? So in this video I will show you one practical mastering technique that nobody will tell you about. So before we start, please remember, if you have a mix that you need mastered, request a quote at BSMastering.com and receive 50% of your first order. And I would also very much appreciate, guys, if you subscribe and hit the notification bell to support my channel. It helps me to bring more videos. And now, let's get started. Here, as you can see, I have prepared this mix for today. And first, let's zoom it. As you can see, we have some uncontrolled transient spikes. I call them useless peaks. Highly likely they don't carry any meaningful information, they just take headroom. And because of these spikes, we lose about 2-3 dB of headroom. Now I'm going to show you my approach, how I control these spikes. Usually I just put one instance of a limiter right at the beginning of my mastering chain, like this, before equalization, compression and brick wall limiting. I'm not saying that I use a limiter as the first instance every time. Of course not. I use a limiter as the first instance when the order calls for that, so to say. And in this case, the order is calling. And in fact, it is always better to control these spikes with the two limiters instances. Please remember, never eat too much dynamics at once. Usually it should be not more than 3 dB per one limiter, because if you go further, everybody would hear that. And for that reason, sometimes it makes sense to use two instances of limiters, and in this very case, it is definitely make sense. Okay, let's zoom this track again. As you can see, most of the spikes are around -8, and couple of them is around -6. If I apply a limiter at this -8 level, I will eat just around 2 dB. That's it. In fact, nobody would hear that. That's what is light limiting is all about. It's like the whole mix will kiss the limiter between 0.5 and 2 dB every once in a while. Now let me open this first limiter and show you my settings. Please note that to implement this task, a limiter should have at least an input level and output level. And the funny thing is that not all limiters come with these options. Sometimes a limiter just doesn't have an input level, which in many cases is not practical at all. And to control these spikes, it is the most crucial thing to have an input and output levels. As you can see, my input level plus 8 dB, which means I'm cutting away 2 dB because we have a peak headroom of 6 dB originally, and my output level is -6 dB. So I get out with the same equivalent headroom as before, but I have 2 dB louder result. In other words, I increase the level by 2 dB without paying anything for that. So, and now let's take this spike here, transient, loop it, and AB. Okay, let's have a listen. as you could hear, there's almost no difference. We can still hear nice dynamics. It is absolutely okay, and the result is that we simply have 2 dB gain without paying anything in terms of sound quality. And once again, bear in mind that this is not general advice. It is applicable to use these techniques only when you have these uncontrolled occasional spikes.